The question, is it worth it to study the day before an exam or should you just trust? I'm quite sure that you could ask 10 or more different people this same question and likely get very different answers. In my point of view, I'll share my point of view on the subject, which has been impacted by my experiences as a college student and as a teacher in a secondary school setting. In my college life, I always found it best to regular study the material over several days or weeks, rely on how much there was to internalize, and on how much information would or would not be available during the test. Did I ever jam for tests? Absolutely. Did I do as well or recall the information? Absolutely not. But when I did follow a disciplined pattern of study, I would do the following. On an open book, multiple choice test, my primary focus would be learning where to find the information I needed as quickly as possible while writing important items from lecture in the margins of my book. If I had a test like this, I spent more time doing important things like drinking beer with my friends than I did studying. Whatever type of test above was by far the exception rather than the rule. Most of the tests that I took required either writing or the ability to solve problems with skills learned from practice on the same types of problems. Sometimes, the tutor would even synthesize two related problems into one problem in order to test reasoning ability. For this kind of test, you tell your buddies that you can only go out on Thursday and the rest of the weekend, but that they are on their own for Sunday Funday, Mayhem Monday, Tank Tuesday, and Wasted Wednesday. Ideally, you'll study for about an hour each day for a couple of weeks leading up so that your brain has time to digest the information you are learning. Storing information in your long-term memory requires repeated exposure and repetition. On the night before, review over concepts with which you might struggle, and on the morning of, take a couple of hours to review over all the material comprehensively so that your short-term and long-term memories are working in harmony to recall as much information as possible. In conclusion, I would not recommend jamming, nor would I recommend doing nothing for review on the morning of the test. You're there to get an education, right? The end goal is to not only get a diploma, but to get the most bang for your tens of thousands of bucks as possible by learning as much as you can. The best approach is always disciplined, regular study. For more answers, or more advice on effective studying, check out the links in the description below.